Many of you tuned into the hit show This Is Us tonight. A Minneapolis man's story is strikingly similar to that gripping plot. And when a baby boy was abandoned at St. Paul Cathedral last month, he felt moved to share his own story, one that began on a doorstep. KARE 11's Lindsay Sievert shares the story of a family found.
A cement step outside Minneapolis's Mount Olive Lutheran Church was once the chosen sanctuary for a baby, just hours old. A desperate beginning until the door opened and a church janitor found the baby boy, swaddled in only newspaper.
It says, "I was happy I could find him because if the dogs had come, he might have been killed."
48 years later,
I was baby John Doe.
Dan Lickness has come to know his story in headlines.
There was a story on the radio about this baby that had been left on the church step. And I poked around and I said, I bet you that's our baby.
His birth mom gave him life. Darlene and Ron gave him love.
And we lucked out. All this curly hair and yeah. He looked like he didn't have a clue what was going on. You know, just that little expression on his face, yeah.
The Licknesses had 4 biological children and adopted Dan and another son through Lutheran Social Services.
I knew at like 3 years old, you know, it's like, oh, how come I'm dark? And they explained to me right away. And
I never thought of skin color. It was never a thought. He was our child.
36 years ago, you left me at the front door of a fire station.
This Is Us showcases the complexities of an interracial family, and like the character Randall,
Screw you.
Dan has wrestled with abandonment too.
I think Dan struggled with his being left on a church step. Mm-hmm.
Very definitely.
it's about that identity, that thing of sense of belonging.
Why he's moved to learn more about what happened at St. Paul Cathedral last month,
Kind of my story too.
where a custodian also rescued an abandoned baby boy.
My first reaction was that I knew it was going to touch Daddy.
As Dan and his girlfriend now dream of their own family, Dan's chosen to see his beginning as an act of love, left where he could be saved, just like the baby at the cathedral.
It was a sad story, but hopefully something good comes out of it though too.
Yeah, right.
It certainly did for Dan, so.
For Dan, doors still open, and this always has been a story about us. In Minneapolis, Lindsay Sievert, KARE 11 News.
Well, Dan Lickness and his girlfriend dream of adopting that baby that was left at St. Paul Cathedral, but first plan to get married before exploring adoption themselves. Dan says he visits the church where he was found every year on his birthday, leaving flowers at the doorstep.